Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think you learn. I think you learn implicitly from nonfiction, whereas you learn explicitly from nonfiction, and you learn implicitly from fiction. But I prefer to learn explicitly most of the time. Like if I'm actually wanting to learn something, like when I read nonfiction, it's because I want to engage with something. Like I want to learn something. Like I'm reading a book. Like I read like The Art of Asking. You know, it's like a great book. I really liked it. But it's like about something. It's like about social skills and life experiences and stuff. Like well, I'm reading it because I want to like learn the lessons of the book. You know, I'm not reading it to be entertained. Like learning in and of itself is entertaining, in my opinion. Like I like the fact that I'm learning something. That's what makes it engaging. I'm not looking for just raw entertainment. Because there's unlimited raw entertainment. Raw entertainment's not worth anything in my opinion. This is like endless hedonistic pleasure. I've been a NEET. I know about raw hedonistic pleasure. It's not a good thing. Dries up real fast. Oh, my game was like stuttering. Bruh, please get off me. Hey, Charger. Swear, whenever my Left 4 Dead launches, it runs like shit for a little bit. Just a little bit, and then it'll get better. Like a couple maps. You're very proactive then? You're driven? Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, that's just always how I've been. Excuse me. That's just always how I've been. Like, I think, I don't know. The way I enjoy stuff is kind of like directly tied to how that improves my life. Because I think it's because I've just engaged with so much media that's just for like explicit enjoyments, you know? Like the goal of the media is just to enjoy it. I've engaged with so much of that in my life, especially at a young age, that I stopped kind of finding value in it. I mean, it still has value. I still like enjoy watching a movie just to watch a movie. Like I go to the movies like once a week with my girlfriend, basically. But in my free time, like the activities that I choose to do usually tend to be activities that kind of more fulfill my life rather than just like pure engagement. Excuse me, sir. I think that's just because I've experienced so much pure enjoyment, like just pure, like I'm just enjoying playing this video game right now or whatever, that I don't really just find much value in it. So I much prefer to engage with things that are giving me some sort of explicit, like moral or something that's gonna make my life better. Like here's a good example. I spent like 45 hours one week when I wasn't streaming learning how to use ChatGPT and then learning how to use ChatGPT to program in Python which I had never programmed in Python before. So I like learned Python and I learned how to use ChatGPT like at the same time. And that was like super engaging. Like I really, really enjoyed doing that. That was like quite fun. And that's like two skills that are, you know, will just make my life better. Like I now have 2 new skills. And that was way more engaging than like watching a movie or something. Or like playing 45 hours of a video game. Because I feel like I get some sort of like intrinsic motivation from it because it's going to make my life better. Like my body is just like, this is going to make your life better in the long run. Here's some dopamine. Oh, thanks. I have no idea how to begin with something like that. It's simple. You just start. I just gave myself a pet project. I'm like, okay. So ChatGPT can teach me how to code stuff or code stuff for me. So how does this thing work? And I just asked it some questions and I realized really quickly, like, okay, this is how this thing works. You know, just by asking it some random ass questions. Like I started really simple. I'm like, give me a list of content ideas for my YouTube channel. Like, I asked it like a slightly more specific question than that. And I'm like, okay, it can't answer questions that are that broad, so give it like some parameters and then be like, okay, come up with 5 challenge runs for Devil May Cry 3 that I haven't done before. And then it did. I'm like, okay, that's like really useful information. And then I, you know, did a couple of different tests and stuff to figure out like what its limits are and figured out like what kind of questions I need to ask it to get sort of information I would need to actually be useful. And then I was like, okay, that's cool. Now I kind of understand how ChatGPT works. So I'm gonna see if I can get it to program something for me in Python. Well, I didn't even know I wanted to do it in Python because I didn't know that enough about coding languages to do that. So I was like, okay, what if... So I'm like, what is a project that I could automate in my workflow? Like, well, I used to make thumbnails for my archive channel uploads, but I stopped because it was too time consuming. And that actually seems like something that you could automate. So let me try to do that. So I asked it to build me a program that could automate that, or like come up with some ways that you could automate this. And then I picked one and then I was like, okay, like show me how to code this, and it did, and the code it gave me was dog shit, but I didn't know that. And then I just tested it out, Google searched a couple things, and then just iterated upon that process for the next like 45 hours until I had a program that I have now, which I use. But so like in that 45 hours, I got really good at working with ChatGPT, and I learned like all the Python syntax, because the AI would like lose context for the programming code if it got too long. So I had to fix stuff like syntax errors myself because it wasn't smart enough to do it itself. But basically what the program does is I take the title of the video and I put the title of the video in the program, and then it picks the correct game folder based on the title of the game in the thumbnail, or in the title, you know, the title of the game inside the title of the video. And then it finds the time and the word speedrun, and it posts the word speedrun on the thumbnail, and also the time that's in the time on the thumbnail. And then it selects like a random image from a folder that's named after that game, and there's a bunch of images in that folder that are all from the game. And so it plasters the word speedrun and the time on top of a random image from a folder. So it like basically just recognizes what game it is, what the time was for the game, and picks a random thing. It's like actually pretty simple code. And then I added on to that to make it also generate a description for the video based on like similar stuff. And it took me like, you know, 45 hours of work on it to make it, but now like I just, why am I sitting here? I don't know, but I am. Maybe like 45 hours of working on it, but now I have a program that completely automatically generates all my archive channel thumbnails and descriptions. It's really simple programming, but like I had no idea how to code Python at all before I started. And that's just like something that I thought was really fun. I didn't even necessarily make it because it was like a time saver. I mean, it is in the long term. I think I did the math. It would save me, it saves me time after using it for a year. Assuming I upload every day on that channel. Because I spent 45 hours, you know, making it. But it was just fun to do. I just did it because it was fun. That's a long way of saying that, you know, just learning and like testing new stuff and trying new things is like what I find enjoyable, which is why I like nonfiction books more.
Hey, fire's coming.
Because I feel like I get a lot more out of whatever I'm doing if I actually learn a skill while doing it. No, it's just my own private code. I mean, at this point, I basically rewrote it the whole thing myself, but it's a really simple program. I'm sure it's programmed horribly too. Like, it's probably super inefficient. Thank you. I don't know. I just always kind of like stuff like that more. It makes me sad because it makes me realize how like I fucking hated school so much. Like, school's #1 hater, honestly, on God. I slept through every class and went to the least amount of days of school as I possibly could. But I love learning. Like, that's so engaging. Like, I taught myself how to use ChatGPT and how to program for fun. You know, I was voted too late. But you could not pay me to sit in a school classroom. Like, I wanted to fucking shoot myself.
Hey! Come back! Come back! Oh, he ain't coming back.
That chopper looks like it's heading to the evac center.
Looks like I'm gonna have all the boss the whole run. Oh well. Yay, valid individual level runs.
This elevator works.
Is that personal touch that a few people can manage, let alone give to many students at once? Yeah. I thought the biggest problem was that the subjects that were being taught were completely irrelevant to anything that actually mattered, and they put so many people in a class and like the fucking idiots hold everyone else up. And honestly, maybe that's a bit rude. I don't even think it was idiots holding everyone else up, because it's not like the people who were holding everyone else up were actually trying and they're just dumb. It's that the people who were holding everyone else up were like
Thanks for the support.
doing dip in class, or like bringing water bottles full of vodka and like getting drunk in class and just like being on their phones and not doing anything. You know?
I've been in the flesh.
Yo, Sharingan goes, thanks for the 11, dude. Appreciate you. Like, it wasn't even that, like, you know, they're just holding back for the people that don't understand. No, like, they're holding back everybody for the people that literally, like, don't want to be there.
Hey, this man's talking some sense. Seated better be at that mall.
See, I would worry about homeschooling, though, because I was already socially awkward, and I went to a public school. God knows how incredibly socially awkward I would be if I didn't go to a public school. If I just stayed at home.
Anyone out there?
That's my only thing. I have no idea what the fuck I'm gonna do when I have kids, because sincerely, the school system is fucking atrocious, but I've never been in a private school, so I have no idea if they're any good. Excuse me, Tank. And I know that homeschooling is super bad for their social development. What's up north? How you doing, dude? So I have no idea, honestly. But I just remember being like, really, like, I just do not care. This is stupid. Like, I hate this. Anytime we learned anything engaging, we learned just enough about it for it to be even remotely engaging, and then we just stopped learning about it. We never dove any deeper than that.
We'll go get you your snacks, but you better not try to weasel out of this.
And the bar is just so low. Like, they don't actually teach you anything. Like, my girlfriend was in college because she wants to be a teacher, and she had an English class, and she was bummed that she got a bad, like, not a great grade on one of her English papers. And so she had me read it. And I'm like, maybe I could help you. And I'm like, dude, like, I love this girl, but she has no fucking idea how to write. Like, half the sentences literally don't even make sense. I'm like, how did you get this far? Like, you pass all your English classes and shit, when, like, literally the first sentence just doesn't make sense. And it's, like, not her fault. It's just no one, like, the teachers and shit aren't gonna be like, oh, well, you have no idea how to write, so let me actually sit down with you and, like, teach you how to write, like, proper sentences that make sense, you know, and are grammatically correct. They're just like, you know, read the paper and, like, kind of read between the lines and then be like, ah, fuck it, B, and then, like, move them on, you know? And I felt, like, kind of mean, but I was like, no, I'll, like, seriously teach you, like, how to write. Like, I'm a good writer. I know how to write. Like, I basically write for a living with my videos and shit. But legit, yeah, they're like, okay, you know, wow, I can't even tell what this is trying to say. B, you know, like.
Anyone out there?
Better be around here somewhere.
And it wasn't even like the teacher that in her college class there, like, gave her a particularly harsh grade. Like, if I graded that paper, I would have been like, this is an F, this is a 0. Like, I can't even understand what you're trying to say. You know? But she got like a C or something. So it was like, even in college, like, they weren't really actually putting any strenuous process on actual shit, you know, like you can just write nonsense on the paper and they'll be like, C, you pass.
Where is that? Coach!
Went to a private school and it focuses more academically than life skills, so we didn't have shop or mechanic classes or anything like that till like junior year when you went to a trade school. Yeah, that is the nice thing about public schools. There's pretty decent sports programs and like my high school had like an auto shop, like an auto repair shop and stuff, and wood shop of course, and some metal shop stuff too even. But I don't know. Those are probably taught better than like writing and math and stuff. The biggest underrated thing is writing, in my opinion. Writing is so important. Like, literally writing is just thinking. If you can't write, you can't think. Like, you cannot think effectively if you can't write well. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be able to like put that shit down to paper. It's so powerful. Like, even being able to just articulate like what you were trying to accomplish when you were doing something will just make you so much more powerful. It's crazy. Being able to tell someone like in plain English in writing like your goals, what you're trying to do, you know, like it's so valuable.
Okay, this is creepy.
Like imagine not being able to reach out to somebody in email, you know, and being able to like articulate like, hey, like this is what I'm doing and like this is why it's cool and this is why you should be engaged and interested. Perfect RNG.
So plan A is we go find this card. Plan B is we wait here in this mall and die.
You're a TA for this English 111 and 112 class at your college, and the students really don't know how to write. But the rubric I have used to grade marks some super high grades for shit papers. Yeah. Like, dude, that's not giving them any favors, you know? Like, I thought that college was supposed to, like, teach you stuff that's useful in the real world. But if you just give them good grades, even if they have dog shit papers that are completely unintelligible, then, you know, they're not actually getting any life skills out of this, unfortunately. You're just taking their money and then telling them that they're doing good when they're not. Which honestly is probably worse than taking their money and telling them they're doing bad when they're doing good.
Got it. Got it.
Not that either are good, but.
I got this one.
Oh shit. I got. I got.
Anybody know who the race?
But like genuinely, I don't know. Writing is literally thinking. Like, if you can't compose your words very well, then you're gonna have a hard time composing your thoughts very well.
Okay, this
Just like the act of writing something down just like makes it happen basically.
Okay. Anybody
I mean, obviously you can't just be like, I'm gonna get $1 million and write that down and then you get $1 million, but you know, writing is how you plan stuff. It's how you enact plans, which is huge. Plans are how you get complex actions done.
We go find this card. Plan B is we wait here in this mall and die.
Like, in order to cooperate and corroborate what happens with other people, you have to be able to communicate.
I hear one of those guys.
So if you're doing anything where you're doing it more than just by yourself, if you're ever working with more than one person or trying to engage with more than one person, then you need to have good communication skills. And being good at writing increases your communication skills.
Got it.
people also don't read and see what skilled writing is like. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Honestly, you don't even need to see like anything crazy either. Just competent, you know? Sentences that make sense.
I got this one. I got coach.
I got coach. I'm lost.
Find some gas, guys. Got it. On.
Oh yeah, dead center. Been writing as a hobby, completely casually, nothing too serious and inconsistent too. And over the years, I've seen my previous work, and I just see the cracks and gaps that make me want to pull my hair out. Yeah, it's a good thing. Improvement. You're good at writing unless you're being graded. You might not be that good at grading or at writing.
Want to hear a prediction? No. There's not going to be any.
But yeah, I don't know. If anyone ever asked me like, what's the most important thing I should be doing? I'm getting better at writing. Like, I'm really glad that I had an initial interest in writing, because I just liked it since I was a little kid,
Grabbing a jar of puke.
and so like I was kind of good at it. So by the time like I was an adult, and I also had to write a lot of papers for college. So by the time I was an adult and I actually like had a use for it, I was already good at it. Like by the time I started writing video essays, I was like pretty solid at writing, I think. Like above average. I don't even think my writing is particularly deep or engaging or anything. It's just competent. Like my sentences make sense and stuff, you know. Like most of my video essays, for example, don't have any like crazy word flourishes or anything. It's mostly just explaining what happened. But being able to explain what happened and turn that into a cohesive narrative is actually like pretty difficult, that turns out. Like most people, you know, if they're gonna tell you a story about what happened at their party last weekend, they're gonna go on like 12,000 segues and not have like a through line through the story. They're just gonna tell you in like fragments what happened. And it's not gonna be that engaging. But if you can like figure out how to take the event, boil it down to the essence, deliver it, you know, in that way, then it's gonna be way more valuable. Like way more, people will just enjoy listening to your story way better. Ironically, I feel like I kind of suck at telling stories, but at least when I'm talking, when I'm writing, I'm okay at it.
This way. Rain's
This gonna go on the archive channel? Yeah. Every run I ever finish goes on the archive channel. Oh. Time to use this. I notice a lot of people write how they talk and they don't exactly talk in the most engaging kind of way. True. Honestly though, I kind of write how I talk. A lot of the times.
Can you guys hear me?
But I feel as though I speak with a bit more precision than a lot of people. Like I remember one of my 6th grade teachers telling me that I write like I'm talking,
The water's starting to pool.
and they said it was a bad thing. That was a long time ago, but still.
Nick.
Which worked out because, you know, I am usually writing for scripts nowadays. So I am literally writing for my own talking.
How many goddamn witches are...
Oh, I almost died. So, you know, it just happens to be perfect.
Where's everyone?
So fuck that teacher. I mean, he's right. It just so happened that that was to my own benefit.
Yeah. Oh, bark, no bite.
I don't know how I feel about grading those papers that obviously use ChatGPT because writing really isn't that hard. Especially a lot of these English prompts are basically asking their opinions. Yeah. That's wild that a bunch of them are using ChatGPT. I believe it though. I don't know, I always thought writing was fun and engaging, so it was surprising to me that so many people hated it. Like, I don't know, I love talking and never shut the fuck up when someone asks me about my opinion, so I always thought about it that way. Like, usually the papers that they had us write in elementary school primarily were almost always persuasive essays. So literally you just are arguing your opinion. You're like, here's a topic. What do you think about this topic? Why or why not? And so there was always something to say. Like, it was simple. As long as the topic was something that you even remotely cared about, then it was really easy to write a bunch, you know? But usually, I don't know, my classmates would always write like,
Where is everyone?
you know, like, here's a paper about abortion. Like, is it good or bad? Like, what do you think? And you know, people would be like, abortion is bad because babies died, and I think that's bad. And that's like literally the whole essay, like literally written in plain English like that. It's like, you gotta learn to articulate your opinion a little bit more sophisticated than that, right? Like, come on, this is like a deep issue. Like, you could actually find something to say. Because I'm sure those same people, you have that conversation with them face to face, like, it'll become an actual conversation. Like, they'll have more to say than just that, right? But when it comes to putting it on paper, they just can't do it for whatever reason. Like, God knows people have stuff to say and will be at length arguing it with you, especially over topics like that, if you ask them about it on Twitter, right? But you ask them to write a paper, no, they won't, for whatever reason. I think it's just because school sucks. I think that's really the underlying issue with it. It's just that the school environment sucks, so no one cares. A lot of shitty papers I read also come from the fact that a lot of people do not understand arguing and how to actually back up a point. Yeah. I could definitely see that. I don't know. I don't actually like grade other people's papers or anything, so I don't have a big sample size, but a lot of people do just base everything on emotions, so. But this is my opinion. I don't know why I feel that way. I can't justify it. I can't tell you why the opposite opinion is bad either. It's just my opinion. I never actually thought about why I believe this, but I'm right. No, not even Supernova. It's a skill that you have to learn. I'd argue it's like the most important skill. I'm not shitting on, I'm not trying to shit on people for not having the skills. Like, it's a hard skill to develop. Like, I think it's a more important skill that schools should focus on teaching. I'm not trying to shame anyone for like not having these skills, but a lot of people do not have them, that's for sure.
We almost didn't make
One of the reasons you're considering back away from the legal route is because legal writing is horrendously boring. I could see that. Legalese is something I can read. It's just exhausting to read. Like I read my own contracts and stuff if I'm gonna do like sponsorships and whatnot, and I never miss anything. Like I always know what's happening in the contract, you know? Like I'm not gonna get screwed over or anything. But it's just exhausting to read, and it's like very overly prescriptive and exact. Like everything is exact. Very, very wordy, and like making sure that the exact meaning of the words cannot be misconstrued, which makes sense. It's a legal document, right? But it's just exhausting to read. I wouldn't want to write like that all the time. That's for sure. I have done some very small legal writing though, like helped write like the rules for the invitational tournaments that we ran and stuff. And that is got to be like in legalese basically, because you know the rules have to be exact and precise. After the speedrunning, you gonna do some CS today? We'll see, probably. We'll see how I feel. DMC4 is kind of a long run.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a big weird thing when I have kids because I have no idea how I want to school them. I've never been to private schools, but I know that public school sucks. And homeschool, like me and their mom are already socially awkward enough. So that's a no-go. Can't wait to finish school and buy your computer. Best of luck to you. Having a PC is great, man. I think having a PC is a really good step in the right direction for a lot of people because it turns your gaming station into something that is actually a work tool as well. Like, you have this, you know, machine that you can play video games on, but in order to play some of those video games, you have to interface with the other things that make it a useful tool, like the internet, Google, stuff like that. And you have a powerful enough machine, ideally, that you can actually use these other tools effectively, and like it gets you into more complex stuff. Like I am so glad that I went to my cousin's house and played Counter-Strike Source, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have wanted a PC, and I feel like I would be much dumber if I didn't have a PC, because I would have never had the work machine that I do. I would have never been able to get into content creation, you know, I would never have the tools that I wanted to be able to make things and have things happen. Nice, Simply Nova. 90s, 2000s generation's been so squished. What you mean by squished?
Nick, what the hell? You shot the pilot.
That's awesome, JC. That's definitely my primary concern for homeschool.
If I had to pick a low point in the flight, it was
Them just being socially awkward. Because God knows if I didn't go to like elementary school and middle school with other actual humans, I would not have interacted with people outside of anything or the internet ever again. Because when I was at home, I didn't talk to anybody, like only child of only children. No one was ever home, and all I did was play video games all day. I guess I don't need the propane tank if I do the tank boost. Oh my god, I almost did it still. Event. Thanks, Fenty.
Nick, what the hell? You shot the pilot.
Look at this. PC, powerful, flexible tool. How many have made use of it?
That's true. I had to
I feel like a lot of people have been cornered into not doing anything, even though it sounds kind of defeatist. They definitely, I think it's not so much that they're like being cornered into not doing anything. I think it's just that they don't have any positive role models that actually do things. Like me and my parents and all of my friends' parents are basically just like adults that don't do anything.
I got these pills.
Like they go to work and then they come home and they watch TV. And that is their entire life. They don't have hobbies. They don't like their jobs. They don't aspire to do anything. They're not passionate about what they do. So like if you grow up and everyone around you just does that, then that's just what you're gonna do. It's not gonna work. It's gonna play too late. No. I hate swamp. I don't know how true that is for everyone else, but like that's definitely how it is. That was for me. Like every adult that I knew just they just didn't do anything. They just go to work, make money, so they come home, buy some shitty food, throw on some TV, go to sleep, do it again. And that's every single day. No hobbies, nothing they're really passionate about for the most part. That's your role models, then you're not going to aspire to much more to that.
Can you guys hear me?
Fortunately, I'm a fucking turbo nerd. And you get really inspired by like, anime and shit. What are we talking about? We're talking about school. In a kind of roundabout way. Not get stuck. What is that? Your parents didn't even have jobs or you? Oof. That sucks. I was fortunate enough to be inspired by media, basically, to want to do stuff. Like honestly, watching Naruto as a little kid, like huge dub. Made my life quantifiably better. Think about it, like Naruto is a fucking super goal-driven dude, you know?
Hey, that was a little too close.
He's like that little motherfucker wants to become Hokage, and God forbid you get between him and that. You know what I mean?
Okay, this is creepy.
Watching My Hero Academia help inspire you? Dude, whatever works, man. Ain't no shame. I go past the witch. More direct line is faster.
Holy shit, a down plane.
She was in my way. I had to take her out. Thank you, Swing Diaper. Shit that. I try to inspire people to get up and do stuff. That was like the whole theme of my last video, really. Is you know, like, look, this shit ain't as hard as it looks. Go do it.
120 big weebs for 7 months.
Go Blaze Head. No, thanks for the 7 months, dude. Appreciate it. That was the whole theme about the me and Dante RE5 co-op video. Is like, look, this shit, like, it's overstated, mad. Like, go try it. Go do something. Here's some tips on skill acquisition. Hell yeah, Aether. Get it, brother. Yeah, I've been fucking scammed lately. The gym's been closed because the AC's broken. The best part about getting good at things is it literally doesn't matter what you get good at. Getting good at stuff is just like intrinsically valuable. Like going to the gym, like bro, you gonna go to the gym? Now you're like fit as shit, you're like super healthy. That's valuable. And then like that's a marketable skill that you could use for other things. Like you're fit enough, then you can become like a personal trainer. Boom, that's a job. Literally, like you just take your hobby, anything that you're good at, and you're becoming good at it will just become valuable. Like it doesn't even matter what it is. It could literally be playing League of Legends, dude. Like you get really good at League of Legends, like maybe you go pro at League of Legends. You know? It literally doesn't matter what you do. It's like just trying to get better at it is just so beneficial. What is going on? I'm stuck. What's up, Kai? Better Spring Diaper. Have a good one. Thanks, Brian. Feel like you're good at nothing? I think you're good at something. Ever play Back for Blood? Nah. I played the beta or whatever, the alpha. I never bought the game though. Trying to learn the MC3 speedrun? Yo, let's go. Are you in the Discord? Like the speedrun Discord? Not my Discord?
Let's head down this road.
Lucked out because this is basically Left 4 Dead 2 but not fun. It wasn't luck, sir. I played the beta and I was like, this is ass. And I didn't buy the game. Level 100 evasion. If you're not, you should be. That'll help a lot with the learning. You go to speedrun.com and find any of the Devil May Cry games and then click the little Discord icon.
Let's try the radio.
Can anyone hear
me? We're at the plantation house.
They're already done supporting it? Damn, it really is dead then already. That's crazy. For like a year. Well, I mean, if they're just bleeding money every time they make something from it, I'm not surprised.
Coach!
And you know what the studio's gonna say? They're gonna look at the Crobcat video with 4 million views or whatever. They're gonna be like, damn, we should have put more effort into the aesthetic. Even though that's not why the game was bad. Thanks, Crobcat. Why aren't I active in the Left 4 Dead 2 Speedrun Discord at all? Because there's no reason to be. I'm in their streams all the time. I'm like always watching Vogel or Acids. So I learn about all the new stuff by just watching that. And it's not like I'm actively running the game. That Vogel's crazy. Vogel's insane. I want to make a video about Vogel someday. Oh, speaking of, so By Nails is the basically undisputed god of Halo speedrunning. And he's like a total mystery. No one knows like anything about him. And he doesn't ever stream, he just uploads videos. And he has like some of the most insane world records in all of Halo. He's got the second most Halo runs points. He's like a god basically, and that's what my next main channel video is going to be about, I think. Is about him. I asked him in his YouTube comments the other day if he was cool about me making a video about him. And he said, yeah, that's cool. I don't think he's going to like talk to me directly or give me an interview or anything, but... So that's what my next video is going to be about. Pretty stoked on it. I'm going to have to like interview a fuck ton of people though, because I don't know that much about him. No one really does. I'd like scrounge up information across a bunch of different people. There's like 2 people that have ever done co-op with him. And I don't even think they voice chatted when they did co-op. Like they just
Grabbing a jar of pure
played no mic.
heads up, bile incoming.
Dude's an enigma. It should be really fun.
Wow. Gates open.
But he's like crazy. He's the only person in the world to ever get sub 1 hour in Halo 3. And he's done it twice. His world record is nearly a minute and a half faster than second place. And like he has basically, okay, I need to fact check this because Mr. Monopoly is not on speedrun.com or on Halo Runs. But according to Halo Runs, Nails has every single individual level record for Halo 2. And also both the full game records, I think. That could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't done that much research, but he's a god, essentially. He had some really insane times in Halo Infinite when it came out too. And like, so he's like this absolute legend. He has like really good times in Halo CE as well. And like, he just started learning ODST. Like, he's just a legend. But no one knows like anything about him. He's not in the Speedrun Discord for any of the Halo games. He doesn't talk. He like barely ever shows up in people's streams. And when he does, it's like not even as his username Bynails, it's like as like some other Twitch username. And like it's very rare. He's legit a ghost. Like no one knows anything about this dude. And, like no mic, no webcam, nothing on any of his videos. He doesn't stream. He just like shows up and like uploads a run and then leaves and doesn't say anything. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. And he's been around forever too. Like since like 2016. I asked Dice about him, one of the Halo Infinite runners, and he's like, I asked like, who do you think I had a great idea for the video. I just like going around and like while Halo runners are streaming and asking them on their stream, like, who do you think the best overall Halo runner is? And just clipping their response no matter what it is. And like, I asked 4 people and 3 of them said Nails. Like, without them knowing I was gonna make a video about it. And when I asked Dice, he said, yeah, it's definitely Nails. If he's even a person. I'm not convinced. He might be like 3 people inside a trench coat or something. I got a lot of really zany responses like that. It should be fun. Alice is not dead yet. Adrenaline. So I'm gonna do that with a bunch more people. I like a clip of like Mr. Monopoly and Jervalin's chat being like, it's definitely Nails. It's not even close. And a nice upside is one of the people that did co-op with him is Kronos, who I happen to be friends with. So I can ask Kronos about that and he'll probably answer me and stuff. I don't have to like dig it out of him. Like, you did co-op with Nails. The co-op video with Nails that he did is so funny. It's an ODST individual level run. And Nails uploaded just his perspective. And you never see Kronos in the whole run. It's like a 2-minute driving level and you never see Kronos. Like, half the comments are like co-op in quotation marks.
Holla back at me, folks.
Because I'm pretty sure he like only did co-op for the Halo runs points. Because it's like not even a co-op run basically, because Kronos is like not even there. Like he's off like doing some shit, but he's like never even on the screen. What's up, Damien? Did I ever play COD? I'd play zombies. Not like COD though. Yo, what? That charge was crazy. But yeah, I think it would just be a really interesting story because the dude's a legend, right? Like, he has like insane times in every Halo game he's touched. And no one knows anything about him. That's like the coolest part. Like, he's just a mystery. He's a big question mark. Please. I mean, I'm not gonna try to like unmask him or nothing, you know. I just want to gather all the information that is currently known and then talk about it basically. Share the story of Nails. Bad lad. There's a tank in the sewer or close by. I'd also like to make a video about Vogel. Because Vogel is basically that, except for he's not unknown, and he's like just a god of Left 4 Dead. He's like far and away the best Left 4 Dead player. Dude's crazy. Like, he makes this game, which is like so incredibly random, his bitch. Like, when we do stuff like expert realism all campaigns races and stuff, like he always wins. like by a lot. He'll have finished like 20 minutes before. Like second place. And stuff that like just seems random, right? Like expert realism all campaigns, you're like, oh yeah, that's like just bullshit, right? Like half of that's random. But no, like he's still going to win by like 20 minutes. Who's the best EMC3 player? It's either Heist or it's me. Not to toot my own horn. But I have not come back from my throne yet. I was supposed to recently, but I got distracted. It's probably Heist though. Heist is really good at DMD. I have no interest in playing DMD. It's probably Heist, yeah. I ain't touching that shit. Ain't no DMD for me. Thank. Damn it. I almost lived. I had killed the hunter like I tried to. He must have had like 1 HP. That's what I get for saying I'm the best EMC3 player. You guys like stumble over here? Thanks. And a hop, and a skip, and a fuck. I missed my B-hop. Excuse me. Pardon me. Thank you. The hardest combo boost in the run. Mains? Definitely the fairgrounds one. That everyone uses propane for. It's ridiculous. It's so hard, even with the propane. Yeah, I mean, I could be down. I've wanted to do co-op, but I don't want to do co-op unless I'm gonna host. And honestly, I'm just not good enough to host. Whoa, Rochelle, I'm jumping off the ladder like a madman. To be fair, it wouldn't normally be Parish last, but I messed up my cycler votes. It would normally be Swamp last. I used to actually do Parish last, though. That was a psycho. What's up, Slayer? I did it last because I learned it last. So I put it at the back of my splits. I was really hoping that me and Punchy would do more duo, but Honestly, I'm not that interested in 4-player. Problem was that our time zones are just so mismatched we could like never play. Oh. What's up, Lobo? Howdy. Like, I don't feel like it's worth it right now for me to do any runs where I'm the host, because my B-hops suck. Like, give me like 2 weeks to de-rust mains or something. And then I would be more worth it, but... None of this matters, because all my plans are going to change when CS2 comes out. Excuse me, sir. That was rude. Oh. That's unfortunate. Yeah. I missed the B-hop, but I was holding left because I was strafing.
All right.
So when I missed the B-hop, I just walked off the map.
Armor's gonna take care of us.
Oh, I got sub 50? Damn, dude. Everyone's getting sub 50. Except for me. I'm a bitch that doesn't play the game. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Just don't be a bitch and play the game? True. But I'm too busy, like, making YouTube content. Doing challenge runs. Other shenanigans. I do think like, give me a week and I have a sub 50 though. I feel like my PB sucks. But like, a week, dude. A week of me playing one thing and not switching? I don't know if it's possible. When's the last time you see me play one game for a week and not switch? No challenge runs in between. No shenanigans, just speedrun a game for a week straight. Like the same game. When's the last time I did that? Like DMC 1 maybe? Before like 2 GDQs ago? XD. Third person speedrun. I'll strafe off the map again. I mean, just a vid about getting sub 50 would be good. It's fine, you know. But that means I'd have to actually do it. GG. 109. My best run yet.